Hello everyone, welcome to 5 Minutes CS Talk. For this video, the topic is reshaping views for a computer system. If you are no expert for computer science, this video may provide you a practical analysis framework to analyze the computer science related project. If you are an expert for computer science, this video may provide you some insights about how to better understand the project from all different views and how to explain your project to people in a more systematical way. In one previous video, we tried to decompose the computer science project into the view of system, algorithm, and application, but this is still not straightforward enough for people with non-computer science background. They may not quite familiar with the things behind these terms, such as system or algorithm. Another way to dive into a computer-related project is to decompose it into the workflow or application view, data view, and resources view. This is a whole picture for these views, and let us dive into every item in detail. For the application or workflow, basically it gives us a general scope of this project. For example, it can be web service for online shopping, or a video processing system to detect the human's temperature in real time, application on your smartphone, or simulation on high-performance computer or cloud. Anyway, it is application that most people, or at least non-computer science expert, can exercise directly in real world and understand it quickly based on some common sense or domain-specific knowledge. The second important thing is data, which is the main ingredient for computing system. You may ask yourself two things about the data used in the project. What is the type of the data? Is it log messages, the signal or event messages, time series data, images, or more complicated data such as tensor or mesh data? Furthermore, what are main data abstractions or data structures based on the standard data in the system? Another important thing is the data flow of the application. It is a little bit computer science taste. Instead of describing the general workflow in the application, we may try to consider how data flows between different components. This data view may give you a better understanding for the target system. The general data flow include the data generation, data transfer, data process, and data storage, etc. You may need to ask yourself what are associated tasks for each step in your target system. The third important layer is the resource layer, namely the devices that can be used to do the task related with the data. The typical capability that a resource layer can provide, or the interfaces of the resource layer include the resource allocation, resource recycle, and other control instructions such as put or get data, or doing the logic operations. Besides, we also need the system software such as programming language compiler and operation system to bridge the high-level interface and the actual devices. There are all kinds of devices in general, such as cloud machines, high-performance computer, personal computer, edge devices, or even your cell phone. We may use different system softwares to achieve the higher level capability, such as doing the logical operation and resource management. For example, we may use Android system to manage our smartphone and Linux system to manage a cloud server. The common thing for these two devices is that they could do some logical operations to calculate something, and provide some storage to store data, and transfer the data between different devices. The essential types of resource that the device can provide include computing resource, storage resource, and networking resource. There are different techniques when we discuss how to use these resources efficiently. For the computing resource, we may need to know CPU, GPU, FPGA, or even TPU, and parallel computing. For the storage resource, we may need to have some ideas about the memory hierarchies. For networking, we may need to know the Ethernet, RDMA, GPU Direct, or different types of protocols. In summary, when we consider a target computing system, we may need to view it from three typical aspects. From the perspective of domain knowledge, we further need to consider what is the application and the details about the workflow. Then, for the data perspective, we need to consider the data flow and the data life cycle, namely how data is generated, transferred, and stored. For the device and resources perspective, we may need to consider how computing, storage, and networking resources are used in the system. By this way, we can get a whole picture for the computing system. Here are some tips about this topic. For the algorithm, it can be used into different layers. It is not the parallel dimension compared with the system. Another classification way is the theory and experiment. This focuses on different research methods. Secondly, we may need to try to hold a holistic view from the application layer to the resource layer, no matter which layer we are working on. Thirdly, we could start from the application for a target system, which is easy to understand. By this way, we might avoid going around and making a useless tool, or using resource without a good motivation. Thanks for watching and see you next time.